Hello everyone, how are you doing? Trust you're doing good. Today we are going to continue from where we stopped from naming of alkane. Remember, in our last class, I talked about how to name an alkane. I said when you want to name an alkane, basically you should consider two things. Number one is the longest chain. You consider the longest chain because you name based on the longest chain. Then the second one is you consider the substituent that is attached to the main chain, which is also the longest chain. And I still believe that you still remember what a substituent is. A substituent is a group that is attached to the main chain or the longest chain. Now let's continue from there. Now let's assume that we have this particular alkane. We also have a substituent attached to carbon here. Now, the first thing you're going to do is you numbered the chain so as to know the chain that is longest. Remember I said when you want to number, you number from the left hand side to the right hand side, and also you also number from the right hand side to the left hand side. Why are we doing that? We are doing that in order to give the substituent the lowest number possible. Now let's look at it. Here I'm going to start from my left to the right. Here I'm going to number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When I numbered from my left hand side to the right hand side, you can see that the substituent is on carbon 2. Now let's now number from the right to the left. If I number it from the right to the left, what do I get? When you numbered from the right to the left, you can see that the carbon atom at which the substituent is attached is on carbon 4. So I would rather prefer the one from my left hand side to the right hand side, because remember the rule says you should give the lowest number to the substituent, or better still, you should name the substituent based on the position at which it is attached. And when you look at it here, it is attached to carbon 2. So we'll rather consider the carbon 2 here where the substituent is attached than considering carbon 4 where the substituent is attached. Now, after that, the next thing is, remember, I said the first thing you look for the longest chain, and we've seen that the longest chain is 5. It contains 5 carbon atoms. So I remember in alkane that a member that has 5 carbon atoms is called pentane, right? Now the next thing is, we have said we need to consider the carbon atom at which the substituent is attached. Here it is attached to carbon 2. And because of that, if we want to name this, we are going to let them know the carbon atom at which the substituent is attached. Now, if I want to name this, I'm going to say 2. What is the name of the substituent that is attached to the carbon 2? Here, we have CH3. And remember, under my explanation on alkyl, I explained that an alkyl that is CH3 is called methyl. So it's going to be 2-methyl. What's the main chain? The main chain is pentane. So it's going to be 2-methyl pentane. I believe it's clear. Let me give you another example on this. Then up from there, we are going to proceed to what if the main chain has more than one substituent. Now, another example of this is, let's consider this. Now, when you look at it, remember, I said the first thing you should consider is the main chain. That is the longest chain. Now here, let's consider it and number it. If I want to number from my left to the right, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here, if I numbered from my left hand side to my right hand side, the substituent is on carbon 3. Now let's try to number from the right to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. When you number from the right hand side to the left hand side, the carbon atom that is carrying the substituent is on carbon 5. So which means we are going to consider the one from our left hand side to our right hand side, because it is there that the substituent has its lowest number. So after that, now let's look at the longest chain again and see the name we're going to give it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The carbon atom here is 7. The any member of alkane that contains 7 carbon atoms is called what? Yes, pt2. So let's keep that. Then the next thing is look at the carbon atom at which the substituent is attached. Now, when you look at it, the substituent is attached to carbon 3. So we are going to write 3. Then the next thing is, what is the name of the substituent itself? Here, you can see that it is C2H5, unlike the first one that we did, that is CH3. So any member that contains 2 carbon atoms is normally under alkane is supposed to be ethane, right? But here, remember, it is alkyl group. So instead of it to be ethane, it's going to be what? Ethyl. So here it's going to be 3-ethyl. The longest chain is eptane, so you add that to it. So eventually we have 3-ethyl eptane. You can see that it is very, very simple.